And welcome to the Thunder Rooster Podcast. My name is Ron.
And I'm Paul.
And boy, oh boy, last week's episode.
How you feeling today?
I think I got the giggles out of me finally.
Are you sure?
It took a couple days.
I didn't think you did. But then I asked your wife, and she goes, no, that's normal behavior.
Yeah. I'll just get something stuck in my mind and just randomly start laughing at it.
It was funny, but man.
Yeah.
That was a good end to the week.
We'll give a little bit more of that later. But what are we talking about today?
Our topic today is shadow people.
Shadow people.
Very interesting topic, I might add.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about and seen a lot about the subject. But, you know, it's one of those head scratchers for sure because, you know, I've got a little bit of story with that, but we'll get into that later. Sure. But it's still one of those things because there's a lot of dense research and study and psychological.
Sure.
I mean, it kind of the list goes on. But
it's a psychological topic we are gonna discuss.
Yeah, it is some terrifying stuff.
It's also known as, you know, shadow figure, shadow being, black mass. Right. Several different, also known as versions.
Right. Why don't you give us a little definition of this?
So you think of this idea, and the topic is of shadow people, but one way you can kind of decipher is thinking almost like a living humanoid figure, you know, interpreted as the presence of a spirit or other entities by believers in the paranormal or supernatural realm.
Yeah.
In a sense. Kind of the staple of ancient folklore and ghost stories. There's been a lot of information about this subject for centuries. Right.
There's even writings and stuff dating back to like ancient Babylon talking about these things.
Of course.
I mean, not only like shadow people, but like kind of, we'll get into it later, but it kind of ties in with sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Which is very interesting as far as we elaborate on that.
Yeah. So I got a little bit thing here I printed off to kind of sum up kind of the kind of history with it a little bit. But it says a number of religions, legends, and belief systems describe what are known as shades, shadowy spiritual beings, or supernatural entities. There isn't a consensus on whether these figures are good, bad, or something else entirely. Some UFOologists believe Hat Man could be a alien species observing people. Data collected on Hat Man has predominantly been first-hand accounts of personal experiences. People describe an entity watching either from a doorway, closet, or corner of a room. Most accounts say observation is all that happens. But the reason why I bring up the Hat Man in this is because it's directly tied in with the shadow people. Mm-hmm. A lot of people will account seeing a Slender Man-esque type shadow with all kinds of different top hats, but it's a brimmed hat.
Yep.
You know, some people say it's a bowler hat. Some people say it's one of those Abraham Lincoln top hats, or you know,
just a silhouette.
Right. And I mean, sometimes they'll have glowing eyes. I know my grandma spotted something one time that had yellow eyes. Excuse me.
That sounds refreshing.
But also a lot of accounts say red eyes and stuff, or just like
even better.
Like how you'll find like a cat or deer or something at nighttime, and their eyes are just glowed up.
Of course, then it's like when you take pictures of your animals, you know, and it's like they got them freaking eyes too. Sure.
Right.
Yellow, red, we're good.
But no, a lot of the encounters with this evolved from sleep paralysis. Now, what sleep paralysis technically is you're basically your body's in a dream state, and so are you in a sense. But you wake up, but your body does not.
Well, your brain wakes up,
right?
Your body does not.
There we go. That's a little better. Thank you, Paul.
You got you right there. You're perfect.
But
just think of that. Just your brain wakes, but your body doesn't.
I know. I have personal experience.
Hold on to that thought, Ron.
I'll get into that in a second.
Next tease, baby.
But so you essentially wake up and you can open your eyes and look around, but you can't move. And a lot of cases, people report seeing a shadowy figure or something, you know, even getting on top of them whether they see it or not, there's usually a report associated with that where, there's pressure on your chest, like something's on top of
People
you.
get the testament that they feel like they're just being held under.
Right. And there's several illustrations and stuff where you see, even back in the day, where there's like this ugly demon looking creature thing like on top of your chest choking you.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it
doesn't sound like my cup of tea, no.
Right. So it's not a pretty picture, that's for sure. I've had sleep paralysis about 3 times in my entire life, and they were all around the same time period. So I've never told Paul this story yet because he wanted me to hold off.
Well, you started mentioning this in pre-production and didn't say anything. I'm like, you're not telling me nothing till
now. Yeah. So this is Paul's first reaction to it. All right. So this happened probably when I was 18. I was dating this girl that lived about half an hour away from me or something. So I took my mom to the airport one day, and where I lived was like an hour drive to the airport. And my ex-girlfriend's house was in between there. So took my mom to the airport at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I ended up arranging to stop there at her house on the way back, and her mom, and then let me sleep in a spare bedroom, to just go to sleep. So I go to sleep in there, and I wake up, I can't move, and I hear what sounds like an older lady going, Ronnie. Really creepy like that. And here's the thing, Paul. Nobody calls me Ronnie except for like my really close family. Like, these people have never called me that before. It really weirded me out, thinking like, who's that? First off, I'm still freaking out because I can't move, but I'm just looking around the room, and all of a sudden it feels like there's a large gust of wind blowing on me.
God.
Like, we're talking like, 20-mile-an-hour winds going at me. And then I hear a train going off for some reason. I don't know if it's just my weird mind, but yeah.
What are you going to do?
It sounds like there's a train track literally outside the room or something like that as a train's going by with the wind and everything.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I snap out of it and I can get up. And nothing's going on. There's no wind, no sound, nothing. I immediately get up and go to look around. My girlfriend's asleep in her room. The family's still not up yet. And I'm sitting here like, what the fuck was that? All right. So this happens again, probably 2 or 3 weeks after that.
God, dude.
But I was at my house this time, and there was really nothing significant about this time, except for I ended up getting more afraid this time around.
Yes, it happens the second time.
Yeah, I thought it was just
traumatizing enough on the first.
I thought it was just
a
one-off
wind. You're like, I want to be done. Now you got part 2.
So this happens. It lasts for probably about the same time, but nothing. No train sound. Not my name being called. Nothing except for I just can't move. I don't see anything out of the ordinary, just I can't move, and that feeling's back. I have a dark feeling, like there's something negative there.
Something's not right.
I don't see nothing, don't hear nothing this time, and I snap out of it, go on about my day. About a week after that, or maybe it was 2 weeks after that, I don't remember. It was so long ago. So this time I'm in my room asleep, and I'm having this dream. And the dream was being in like some kind of ice cave for some reason. And it's all lit up, but everything's just ice. And we go up to this wall of ice, and, you can kind of see through it. So I'm looking up there, and I kind of see something moving in the ice wall. I walk up to it, and I get a little closer, and then something goes like that and just hits the ice wall. I immediately wake up. I hear the train going, the wind blowing all around.
So it all came
again,
back. All at one time.
Except for my name being called.
Fuck that, I'm out.
But here's the kicker.
But it can't move.
At that time, I had a light blue shower curtain as a closet door. And I'm sleeping facing like the curtain's directly in front of me when I wake up. All right, I didn't have a fan on, anything like that. And when after I snapped out of it, everything stopped and I was able to actually get up. That curtain was moving back and forth like somebody hit it. I was scared shitless.
I would be too. And just for the fact that you just said, after the several encounters that you had with this, then on the last one, it all just came at you like a ton of bricks at once. Holy shit.
But here's the thing, and it's kind of funny because it's never happened since that time.
Right.
But in order for me to come out of that, it was me basically going like, not this shit again. Are you fucking kidding me? And kind of laughing about it. And that's when it all stopped.
That's when it just broke.
Yeah, that's when it all stopped. I saw the curtain moving like somebody hit it. And I've not experienced that again. So I don't know if it was just my mind like conquering it because I kind of found it funny in a sense.
And that's where the play comes in too.
Yeah.
Is this in your mind or not? But for you to have that pretty much happen on 3 attempts, and the third one was the most pulverizing of all, and the stuff all coming back from what you said, that's enough for me.
Yeah.
Only kind of sad thing, well, not sad thing, but just because I haven't experienced anything like this, but when you were able to put yourself in that frame of mind, could you kind of tell how long you felt, or was like you just didn't? Was it feel like an eternity? Like did it
at the time? Definitely. I don't know.
I don't know how you subconsciously kind of analyze that, if you can or can't, but
it feels like a while, but I have no way of being able to tell how long it actually happened.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of stupid to ask that, but I'm like, hey, how long do you think it was?
Yeah. It's like you can go to sleep and have like a full-on like dream where it seems like it's days on end, and then you wake up and it was just that little bit of hour or so where you slept your alarm clock and just slept for another hour or something like that. You know what I mean? So there's not really no way to tell.
Well, I'm very grateful that this has not happened since, and I hope it never does.
Yeah, me too.
That sounds like enough.
That's just kind of irritating when you think about it. It's like you don't want to start your day off that way. Well, no shit.
But again, there's something that's happened and it's unexplained. You don't know.
Yeah.
What is going on with that?
No. All that unknown shit sucks. I'm sure everybody can relate with that one. Just not knowing sucks.
Right.
But yeah. Interestingly enough, around this time, I still don't know what to make of it, but I guess my girlfriend at the time, their family, was having some kind of like, I don't want to say ghost attack because it sounds silly. And I don't know if I actually believe them or not because I rushed over there while it was happening. I didn't get a weird negative feeling. Like, I haven't seen a whole lot when it comes to the supernatural realm, but I don't know if it's that gut instinct that we all have, but I can like feel a situation. I could tell if something doesn't feel right. And I didn't get that night, but apparently her mom was straight up shoved to the ground by an unseen force. And, they were freaking out. They're real religious people. Like
I would too. You're having just that episode. And the other ones, they're just pulling. No.
But yeah, like this was still around the same time when I was having my sleep paralysis. And the funny thing of it is it started in that house.
Yeah, there's
in the bedroom that's right next to where her mom got attacked.
My expertise says I think something's wrong with that house.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly.
And you left the house.
No, I stayed the whole night just to make sure they were cool. But
yeah, you're not in the house no.
Yeah. But
keep that energy there.
Yeah. We just like nothing weird happened after that. It was just a one-off thing. So I don't know how much truth there was to it. The only thing weird about it was, well, it was a weird time frame because that happened after the fact of, my sleep paralysis started, and after it stopped, this is when it happened. Like, I don't know, it's probably like within the month after it stopped happening. But I don't know, weird coincidental time frame.
No, but just
Well, yeah,
three shots of funny, more like 3 shots of shit.
3 shots of shit in my pants. No. We'll get into that later. Anyways, so we actually have our first ad this episode. Well, actually, it was last episode because we shoot ahead of time. Yeah. So we're only about 2 weeks ahead of ourselves now, which I think is a real comfortable. That way, if anything happens to us in our lives, we have an extra episode and we can take a week off or something like that. But Slash U is a podcast. It's really cool. They do 80s thrasher movies.
It's awesome.
And
one of my favorite genres.
We kind of feel like the guys just like us have a little bit of background in what we're doing and stuff. And
good guys.
They really do give a pretty good rundown on their movies and stuff.
I love it.
But yeah, we'll be right back after this ad.
See you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Slash U. My name is Nick.
And I'm Andy.
Hey, Andy, what do we do at Slash U?
At Slash U, we're a weekly podcast where we try to educate you about a campy, forgotten slasher horror movie made sometime between the years 1977 and 1988.
Find us at slashupodcast.com or on Instagram, /U_podcasts.
Yeah, give us a listen on all your favorite podcast platforms.
Thanks for joining us.
Slash U class dismissed.
And welcome back. Make sure you go and check out Slasher U. There's a great listen for sure.
For Jason.
Yeah, check those guys out. They're helping us out, and give them a listen.
Yeah.
Tell them we sent you. But yeah,
tell them Ron sent you.
Yeah. So we left off with my sleep paralysis stories.
Still freaked out a little bit, Ron.
Yeah, it's
That's
definitely
just fascinating, man.
It messed with my head a little bit for a while, but
it's the unknown.
We got over it. Like I said, it hadn't happened since. So,
just don't go back to the house again.
I
don't plan on
about that. But yeah, I do have one personal instance of seeing a shadow person or entity or whatever you want to call it. And then after I tell you that, I have to give you an account of one that my sister saw. Oddly enough, she was with me whenever I had my instance. But,
right.
But yeah, we could dive right into that. So, me and my sister used to party together quite a bit because,
like siblings do.
Yeah, she wasn't that far behind me in age, and I kind of had the stance of like, if she's going to be partying, I'd rather her party with me and my crew and know that nothing was going to happen. So we are on the balcony of our neighbor's house, and we were out there by ourselves, smoking, drinking, kind of laughing, and we stopped talking for a second there, and we're kind of staring off into the yard. And this is probably about 40 yards away from us or something like that. And I kind of had that negative feeling I kind of spoke of earlier. And so I'm looking off into the distance, and I noticed my sister is looking with kind of a concerned face in the same direction I was.
It's back.
And she and I both acknowledged the fact there's something over there, right? And we see kind of a shadowy silhouette off in the distance in the grass. And nothing major is happening, but it's doing like a thing where it's moving closer, stopping, and then moving back. There's like two big steps forward and then 2 steps back kind of thing. It's not we come together when opposites attract.
I was thinking that I wasn't going to say it, but you did, Paul Abdul.
But so we're sitting there and we see this thing, and we're not talking a whole lot other than the fact of acknowledging that we both see it.
Right.
And we're just staring at it. And then it did this for like 5 minutes, and then it just stopped. And then shortly after that, people came outside, our friends came out and started joking around with us, and we just kind of laughed it off. And that's the only time I've ever seen a shadow person in real life. The thing with my sister is she has a shadow person story that I'll never forget because it's weird as hell. So when we were younger, she would used to wake up in the middle of the night and she'd go, crawl into bed with my parents.
Right.
And she went to go in there one day. She knocks on the door and goes to open it. When she opens the door, there is a rather large silhouette of a man that's just a shadow, basically. It freaks her the hell out and it disappears. And she runs in the bed with my mom.
Mommy!
Well, apparently, they've always told me about the story of seeing an old farmer at our house. Apparently, we had a ghost at our place. And it would just randomly, pop up every once in a while.
Was the house built on an Indian burial ground is what I want to know.
It's definitely around the Cherokee capital, so I don't know if it was burial ground, but definitely the stomping grounds. That could be
something. I'm just saying.
But no, weird stuff always happened around that area because my drum set that I had was in a shed, like a pretty modern built shed in the back on a concrete slab and everything, and I'd lock it up because I didn't want nobody still in it. So, for the account of the story, I just want to mention we're out in the country. There's a highway that runs in front of our house at this time, but we're in the country. There's nothing. There's nothing there. Right. Not even a stop sign or stoplight going through the highway. Going through the town.
More creepy.
So, apparently one night, my aunt, her and my sister wake up in the middle of the night because they hear me playing the drums. They were like, what the hell is he doing playing the drums at this time of night? They look out there. Shed's locked up. And guess what? I'm asleep in the room down the hall. I didn't hear any. This is all them telling me this. And I was like, really? Are you kidding me? I went and ran and checked my drum set. It's like, everything looks fine.
No chips?
No chip. There was no chip in the stick. I don't know if
nobody came by to touch him while you were gone.
I don't know if the farmer ghost rubbed his nutsack on my drum set.
He's probably pissed off at you for locking the door.
Playing Moby Dick for
asshole. Unlock the door. Jeez, man.
Yeah, that's my only accounts of that stuff. Yeah.
I am not going to your house. I'm not going to that barn. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Just stay in my home.
It's pretty interesting.
That's hilarious, but at the same time, no, it's not hilarious because
I've had
rather
dreams.
Frightening. No, dreams too about this.
I just want to tie this in with that house and everything. Okay. So you remember me saying I had the room down the hallway,
right?
Okay. It was my parents' old master bedroom because we built on a whole nother section of the house where they later moved.
Right.
I used to have a dream when I was a kid of going down the hallway where the light of the hallway is all lit up, but past the door was darkness. And I would keep running toward it and running away from it like I was playing with somebody almost. I just want to throw that out there because it ended up scaring the shit out of me later on, but I don't know.
I'm already scared.
Just a little
I'm already scared for you.
Note there.
I'm already scared for you.
Yeah.
Oh, dear God.
It's funny.
Oh, my God.
So why don't you give us a little
more about this condition that you might have?
No, some facts and
but
science.
Just the idea, the science. I don't even know what is real and what's not anymore, people. No, but just the idea of the sleep paralysis is just what's fascinating on top of this discussion.
Yeah, because there's a lot of accounts related to that.
Sure. I mean, as far as what we kind of accounted for, and there's a lot of information on this, but wanted to dive deeper into what I could think would be a consensus. So got some information from a reporter named Corinne Portil. She is a reporter. Now, this is a media-based firm. It's a news organization. They're on YouTube called Quartz News. They do a really, really good job. A lot of underground stuff. But she went ahead and really wanted to dive deep into this subject. So she wanted to get some data, counts from social media, from representations, whoever.
Yeah.
So she got in touch with some people in the field. As far as the research, she consulted with a psychiatrist out of the University of London. Let me get his name real quick here. Okay. So the So there was the psychiatrist out of the University of London. His name is Chris French, and he was a paranormal expert. He still studies the information at the university, but he thinks the interpretations can be assessed from different cultures, worldviews, and events. He kind of tackles the subject, which it makes sense, is that the idea of the sleep paralysis where your body is under control and you're in a dream state kind of came from the collected idea of the Nightmare on Elm Street films.
Yeah.
So he makes striking evidence in regards to this. Since we're on the topic of the Hat Man, there was a movie I saw several years ago. It's called The Babadook, and it's an English-based horror movie.
I've heard a lot about that movie. I still haven't seen it for some
To me,
reason.
it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrifying, and kind of instills with the single mother and her child. The child sees these things.
Yeah.
Mom doesn't believe it, and then things start to come about.
I was going to say this real quick. If your kid tells you they see some weird shit going on,
I mean, you might want to believe
you
them.
might want to give them a little
Heads up.
little breathing room there, you know. Give them a little bit of credit.
So the doctor, like I said, psychiatrist, he's getting the information, and then he, gives that example. And then I'm like, okay, well, these movies kind of have something to do with it because it's the idea of the top hat, the shadowy silhouette figure, and so forth. One thing I'm just going to throw in, because I didn't have many experiences like you in this form, but my first earliest account to what was considered shadow people was the one of the final scenes in the movie Ghost.
Oh, yeah.
With Patrick Swayze, Whoopi Goldberg, Demi Moore, and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
And for those of you who haven't seen it, go see the movie. It's absolutely one of the best movies that was ever made. But at the idea, that movie, that part freaked me out. Nightmares for days. Yeah. There's a scene at the end where the one guy who dies is basically met between the ends of heaven and hell, basically.
Yeah,
a separate realm, because he comes in contact with Patrick Swayze, who has been a deceased character in most of the movie. And it's the ghost. It's the final judgment. And then what happens is the first thing, it's like there's this creaking and just like the walls are just making
the noise. To you.
And then you just hear this screech. And I'm 10 and I'm like, what is going on? All of a sudden, shadows rise up and they're in the forms of human beings. And they come and they grab the bad man and do all sorts of stuff, and then
it creeped me the fuck
disappears.
out.
And I mean, I watched it the other day for the first time since I was a kid, because that's how traumatizing that is for me.
I still haven't seen it,
and it looks kind of crappy now because it's 30 some years in the making later.
Yeah.
But when you really kind of go into it, it's like, holy shit, that was my first thing, and I'm like, nope, don't want that.
Yeah.
But that's a movie that brought me in. The Babadook and then the Nightmare on Elm Street series solidify the idea of the shadow man.
Yeah.
And then what was crazy on the account of Corinne in her research is that there's so many people around the world that are having these same accounts. And they're like, where is the idea that this could happen? These are all isolated situations across the globe. Why are people having this? So she goes ahead and she consults with the sleep director at the UCLA Sleep Center, which is Alon Avedon. And he says one of the things that can constitute from this issue is what is actually abbreviated THH, which I really don't want to mess this up, but it's terrifying, hypnotic, but it's not actually like that. It's hypnologic.
Hypnologic?
HYPNAGOGIC, hallucinations.
Words.
But that idea in itself was the idea of waking up, your brain waking up, but your body being asleep.
Right, yeah.
And then that feeling of just isolation, no way to move, no way to speak. You're being controlled. You don't know how long you are or not.
Heaviness on the chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just for the idea that a director of a sleep order is like, yep, this is true.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, like the Hat Man thing, it kind of goes along with our, our programming.
But it's the idea or belief is that people can still have the same imagery, the same thing happening.
Oh, no, it gives credit to the whole story of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what's just mind-blowing.
I'm just saying more along the lines of like a programming thing with us and seeing like why it's a Hat Man in a sense. It's like,
why is it
think about all the old cartoons we used to watch as kids or even older than that.
Yeah.
There's always some like top hat dude with a monocle on, with a long mustache, and like, you know, and obviously, you know, the Freddy Krueger suit, Nightmare on Elm Street, you know, that is based off of sleep paralysis. I don't know, it's the Hat Man thing, but he wears a hat, so, you know.
And then one of the things which was, I don't know how you look at it, but some of the ways that they tried, at least the researcher from London had mentioned trying to combat the issue of the shadow people or what it may be, is to try to associate that with something positive.
Yeah.
To try to either, you know, knock down or lower these issues if maybe present. But I'm like, oh yeah, just go wave to him. Hi, Hat Man. It's okay. But almost creating a false, maybe not a false sense, but almost in a separate reality that like, okay, this is coming at me. It's not going to hurt me. Maybe I can try to dwindle my energy or my mindset some way else. Because I laughed and I'm like, oh yeah, you know, try to get something positive out of it. I was like, what are you going to do when you're sleeping and you keep thinking like the shadow figures holding over your bed?
Yeah.
To try to recreate it in the daylight where it's not so much an issue where it would be a night. I don't know.
Well, that makes a lot of sense because like I said in my story earlier, you know, that shit stopped when I laughed about it in my head. I mean, I wasn't awake. I couldn't move or anything, but in my mind, I was like, not this fucking shit again. Right. You know, and it stopped. I haven't had it since. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You know,
so
I get it. You said that and I was like, that's kind of what happened with me.
Right. I first just laughed at the idea because I'm like, you know, I don't know. I'm just not being subjective. It's like, you know, if it's something so traumatic, how do you know? But maybe that is the case, you know, take it with a grain, but maybe that was a helpful thing for you.
I mean, some of those stories I've heard or read, I mean, some of the stuff they get so detailed with and, you know, they actually see something present, you know.
Right.
Dude, that would freak me out.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, so I don't know if that would work laughing about that, if you know, if it's especially if it's a really terrifying image that's engraved into your brain after you see it.
And you might be like, yeah, so your best course of action around is to just think something positive with it.
Yeah. I mean, make fun of it. Be like, you've been wearing the same damn old hat forever. Get in touch with your fashion sense.
Oh, nice. The Hat Man brought you a glass of whiskey. That was so nice of him.
Hats are out, man.
You knew you needed a drink. He just decided to put that baby there for you. Oh, how nice.
Thanks for the drink.
Yeah.
Pinkies up.
Pinkies up. So, this is fascinating. But just now knowing that your account's just, man.
Yeah, it's something else. Well,
on that note, let's switch gears.
To switch gears up a little bit. We're going to go into our 3 shots of funny, but I thought I'd play this in our break time. It's a prank on a guy. I think it's like old angry grandpa or something like that, but he ends up pulling a prank, and see for yourself.
Don't try this at home, kids.
Hello? Who's in my house? Who the hell is this? What the hell? Get away from me! Get away from me! Ah! Get away from me! Ah! Get away from me! Ah! Ah! Help me! Help! Help! Let's go to the bathroom. Where the hell is it? Ah! God! Where are you at? Ah! Ah! Dad! Dad! Dad, you're lucky! Oh my God!
And that, my friends, is why you don't scare an old people in the middle of the night, because you might die.
How about don't mess with grandpa, or don't mess with anyone who has an axe?
An axe to grind, for that matter.
Jeez. He was pissed.
Oh, man. All right, so we're getting right into our 3 shots at funny.
Yes.
All right, we've been having a lot of fun with this. And to be honest with you, last week's took me a couple days to get over. I'm not going to lie.
I don't think we're going to have... I don't think it's going to be necessarily like that. I think you'll enjoy a good laugh. But
yeah, we'll see.
But I'll title that for you. This is Not Today.
Not Today.
Yeah. Maybe like, a Bad Monday. We'll throw it like that.
This is Paul's wife's pick, by the way.
So should I fill up any more, like what these are discussed, or you just want to see it?
Oh, we'll just naturally react if you like.
Okay. All righty.
All right, here we go.
Let's go.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh no, I ain't messing with you. Oh no.
So part of the story behind that is that when I was in broadcast news, a couple people I worked with actually moved to Yellowstone and decided to work at the park in between summers. And every time I talked to a couple of guys, I said, "Well, what's it like in Yellowstone?" They're like, "There's buffaloes everywhere."
Buffaloes.
And that's just a normal account there. They're everywhere. And he's like, "Hell no, not today. I'm trying to do my live shot. This guy's in my way." F
That dude did not want anything to do with that. He's like,
not today.
All right. Let's
You
go
want my
to
other one?
yours. Yeah.
You want my other one?
Yeah.
All right. And
This
this is more tailored towards you.
Okay.
I call this bad weather.
Bad weather. All right.
It was jacket on, jacket off, jacket on, jacket off. Some rain would come.
You know he did that on purpose. Jacket on, jacket off.
It was jacket on, jacket off, jacket on,
Look,
jacket off.
look,
Some
he
rain
knows,
would
you
come.
know he's doing it on purpose, man.
That was a category 1.
Wow. Yeah, okay.
Wonder what 3 would have been.
Oh, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we gotta get the fuck out of here. Stop, jacket off. You gotta get out of here. People, we gotta be safe.
Save yourself. Oh, God.
All right. So, this video is something I titled Enough. Yeah.
Is he reading?
Yeah, something. This is a study group going wrong.
Wait a second. Whoa, I didn't see that coming.
It's the last
He's like,
straw.
enough of that.
One more fart. And then
F you, man.
the guy gets up. Smack!
I told you not to toot anymore.
I'm telling you, man. I'm waiting for the
God.
day when my wife does that to me.
She's gonna cold cock you, man.
All right, so
good stuff.
good
stuff.
Obviously, I'm immature and laugh at farts all the time. But so last week's was just so powerful, man. I couldn't help myself. Yeah, just want to show a little something that I made that we'll have to. Paul's never seen this.
Oh no.
Thunder Rooster exclusive.
Okay, that's not bad. But I think I can put something on there. An added effect, shall we say. Alright, gotta arm it up. Have it ready.
You're actually showing this. You son of a bitch.
Oh, I wonder what Paul's gonna think.
It's like you two are in unison. Holy shit. Oh.
Did you recognize which mic I was using?
Yeah. Oh, makes it even better. I wonder why it smelled a little funny. You son of a bitch.
All right.
I can't believe you actually taped that whole thing too. I knew about you telling me what might have happened, but then I knew what happened.
Had to happen.
In post.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was episode 22.
He's not going to make it. Well, I hope you like shadow people today.
Yeah. If you were scared, you're not anymore.
Not anymore. That took care of it.
Might have created a shadow person.
Where's he? He's over there, Ron. He's just sitting there since where you left him.
All right, folks. Thanks for checking
again.
us out.
Good times.
ThunderRooster.com.
Yes.
You can find all our socials there. And if you want to support us or anything,
Pick up some merch.
Yeah.
Got some great merch, guys.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. We'll check you next week.
See you.